All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Sun Crypto. It is Tuesday, August 16th, 2022, 9:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right? So in today's content now, we'll talk about BTC not on the macro level, but we will talk about this BTC on the lower degree, on the daily, possibly up to the 3-day time frame, or even up to the weekly and all that good stuff, right? So if you just join the chat room, make sure to hit the likes. Join the public Telegram group, link in the description. You can also join the premium group, link in the description, for the Discord premium group and all that good stuff, right? So let me make sure the sound is good. We got Pablo S Crypto in the house, 589. The sound is good. Thanks a lot for tuning in. We got Chronic Call Moonboy in the house. A Quiet Cook cooking some ADA in the living room. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Okay, so the first thing we will talk about is going to be BTC. We'll take a look at Ethereum later on, right, with the pivot points, and we'll take a look at the Ethereum dominance at the same time, right? And possibly we'll take a look at Ethereum on the weekly with the weekly 25 MA, which we talked about like back in April when Ether was at 3,500. We were calling for Ether to drop as low as 1,700 range and possibly down to the 1,000, and we got all those targets, right? So we will go back to review Ether on the macro level, not on the lower degree and all that good stuff, right? So now when we take a look at BTC in terms of RSI, we will start off with the RSI, right? So we can see since our lows, right, back in mid-June, to be exact, June 18th, right here, right? So let's do this for Leroy. Let's make it white and bigger, right, and longer right here. So if you take a look at it right here, back in June 18th, right, we bottomed when RSI was right around like a 21, okay, 21%, not 21k, okay. So and we pushed back up to a 21k, where we said 21k going to represent our main pivot resistance. The first resistance, it is going to be 21k. Why 21k? Because when we were dropping, if you guys recall, we were calling for BTC to drop down to 21k plus minus 10%, okay, and it dropped like 15% below 21k, dropped all the way down to a 17.5. So if you're looking for the bottom, it could be a big difference, 5%, right? Yeah, but if you don't care about like catching the exact bottom, 21k plus minus 10% was good enough to accumulate even up to 23k and all that good stuff, right? So you can see our pivot point 21k with, you know, the 21 EMA also joined the party right there, okay. The first week of June, okay, that's where we got rejected at, and we dumped back down to the 19. And what I was saying was, in my premium, don't short BTC below, you know, 19.5, 19k area, because we just don't know if we going to be moving sideways for a few weeks before retesting 17 or 16 too, okay. So that's our second support right here in terms of parallel channel. And if you go back to your RSI, you can see like we got our secondary support in terms of touches, okay. Our secondary support right here, we did not touch the trend line. If you want to include it, fine. If you don't, that's also fine. But we got a bigger support right here, all right. So we bounced back up to our daily 50. Daily 50 also gave us a tough time, which is basically nearly the 3D 21 EMA, right? In our premium, what I was saying was like the 3D 21 going to be our biggest resistance after we get our support somewhere around like the 21k plus minus 10%. The 3D 21 going to be our biggest support, and we will look for the weekly 21 later on down like end of Q3 or even like, you know, beginning of Q4. So I wasn't expecting BTC to go up to you know, the weekly 21. We're not there yet, but we will talk about, right? So if we go back to the daily time frame, you know, we got our second rejection right here, and now take a look at it, guys, okay. We got a double rejections right here at 20, let's say 24k, right, and another one at 24 to 24.5 right here, but we're still not retesting what our lower boundary support right here in terms of the parallel channel, right? But take a look at our RSI. Okay, right now we got a big challenge. Okay, RSI is following what? The support area, right? Bang, 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 and we're getting our tertiary support right here, but we're not, in terms of price action, we're not retesting the tertiary support. That's why I put it as yellow, right, not green. And if you take a look at it also, we got another possible resistance right there. Okay, at the trend line resistance. At the same time, right, we got our daily 100 EMA. Why the daily 100 EMA is so important is because most of these alt, okay, they retested. That's what I said in my premium. Look for the daily 100 EMA, right? Some of them already retested like the daily 100 EMA. If you follow our Discord group since like July 19th, I think, right? I mentioned about Dot, Filecoin, and Link. Okay, all of them, they top coin. They're not like 10 million market cap and all that good stuff. Okay, they all pump nearly up to the what daily 100 EMA, and they pump like what 25, 35, 40%. Okay, after I sent those setups and all that good stuff. Okay, so BTC could possibly, okay, it's not guaranteed, right, but it could possibly take a cheap shot, right, up to the daily 100 EMA. So, but we don't know if BTC going to be moving sideways in this range, right, and join the retest the trend line support at some point right here, right, or if BTC wants to basically just push to the upside, get the job done, and basically retest the trend line. So you just have to be very cautious how you want to play it. I wouldn't try to play like both end. I would just, you know, play one end, play one end. Okay, meaning like either stay bullish up to the daily 100 EMA, or just stay bearish all the way down to the support trend line. Okay, on the daily basis, not on the macro level, because you don't know on the macro level, right? We still got 17.5 and 16, possibly 16 to support. It's not even guaranteed, right, to retest it and all that good stuff. But something to keep in mind, right, in terms of RSI. Okay, but we could get a confirmation, right, of a continuation to the downside all the way down to 17.5 if BTC breaks below the RSI, right, below the RSI support. Okay, meaning like if we do something like that and dump down to the previous support, just about like a 35, 36 on the RSI, we could basically be even dumping lower right here back to a 17. Okay, so if you take a look at the previous analysis right here, right there, I was pretty bearish, right, on BTC right here. If you recall, our analysis back in April, okay, May, April, and all that good stuff. Okay, what we were saying was like this move is nothing but a flat correction. Okay, it is nothing but a nothing but a flat correction. It doesn't matter how you want to draw it, but we caught it. What we said was like 31.32 was our resistance, and price action could possibly push up to the 3D21, but it did not get to the 3D21. So right here, so if you recall right here, I was telling you guys, right, we could push up to the 3D21, but it's not guaranteed. We're just going to respect the flat correction. If it gets to the 3D21, 33, 34, and all that good stuff, we're still going to short it and take it all the way down to a 21K, right? And most bulls were looking for like a 36, 38, and all that good stuff. And what I was saying back then, if I just flip the flip to the higher time frame, was like we can go back up to our previous monthly open. Okay, because you know our May open was right around like a 37, right? 30, just about like a 37. So I did not expect like June, right, to go back up to 37, just like I did not expect like July to go back up to like the June open right around like a 31. So most people have been quoting for 30K since when? Since like end of like, you know, the beginning of June. Okay, when we were dropping like from 32, most people were calling for like 37 and all that good stuff, but I was calling for like a 21K plus minus. You see what I'm saying? So it has to make sense on a higher time frame also if you're analyzing the low degree and all that good stuff. Okay, so now we're done with the RSI. one thing to keep in mind with the RSI is like, if we break below the trend line support right here, our chance of getting, you know, BTC dropping down to a 17, you know, 16K and all that good stuff could be higher. Okay, and remember, the keyword is 17 to 16, not 10K or you know, whatever, 5K, 1K, whatever. The keyword is like 17. Why 17? Because this move is a consolidation period, right? And it's been consolidating for over like nearly what, nearly 2 months now. So I don't think, okay, if we drop down here, we're just going to break it. Okay, because it is not a flat correction, it's just a wedge pattern. We will see if we're going to get enough volume to break below 17.5, 16 to 16.2K area. Okay, and in another video we will talk about why 16. So if you've been following me long enough, you know why I keep mentioning 16.2, not 13, not 14, not 12, not 10, not all that good stuff. Okay, like the 10K bear, still waiting for 10K. Okay, right? So it makes sense. Now let's move on to the MACD. So so by the way, before we move on to the MACD, right, let's so let's take a look at it in terms of resistance, right? Again, because we just talked about the daily 100 EMA being the first resistance. The secondary resistance, right, going to be, okay, up to the 3D 50, right? The 3D 50 is right there, just about like a 28.5, or you could use the weekly 21, whichever you're comfortable with. The weekly 21 is at 28. I know most of the doom boys gonna start shorting at 28 if it gets there, okay, in terms of the weekly time frame, right? So now let's take a look at it in terms of MACD, right? So we already talked about BTC in terms of RSI, right? So in terms of MACD, on a daily basis, we did get a weak negative crossover. So, and I said it in my premium, after we crossed bullish right there back in June, okay, what I said was like, we're not gonna basically break 17.5, okay? Our MACD just crossed positive, so we just have to be very patient because we don't know how long MACD, okay, going to be pivoting right to the upside, just like that, okay? We're just going to be very patient and wait for a strong negative crossover on our daily MACD, okay? If we get a strong negative crossover on our daily MACD, we will be like, okay, the trend could start to be shifting to the downside and all that good stuff. And we got one right here, but if you remember, I said it was a weak crossover, okay? It wasn't strong, and price action did not break the daily 21 right there. So in terms of MACD, bulls, they still in control as of now, okay? As of today, okay? They still in control. Anything could happen over the next like 24 hours or even 12 hours. Anything could basically happen in the next like a few hours. But as of now, they're still in control on a daily basis. So we will need our daily MACD to give us a strong negative crossover, right? Meaning like price action breaking below the 21 EMA with a good volume at the same time, right? The volume is still pretty low, right? At least on Gemini. We will take a look at it on Coinbase later on, right? So we will need a strong crossover on the daily, and at the same time, right, we will need a stronger confirmation, right, on the 2D basis. Okay, on the 2D basis, we will need a stronger confirmation, just like what happened right here. Okay, a big crossover, right, and we got the big dump right there. Okay, so if you take a look at it right here, back in April, okay, we entered our short, right, I think like around the 10th, right, 11th of April, right, at 41K 40K range right there, right after we got the 2D MACD crossing negative right there, because we were waiting for it. Okay, if you guys recall, the entire Q1 was nothing but a sideways correction. This entire range was nothing but a sideways correction. Okay, so if you've been panicking in Q1 and calling for BTC to pump all the way up to a 55 and all that good stuff. Our target was 25K, okay, and we entered at 40K all the way down to 25K, and the only reason we were so confident, okay, BTC was going to drop down to a 25K was the 2D MACD cross negative, and we knew we had a higher probability, right, for the 3D MACD to follow through, because we were watching the 3D MACD just like we're watching right now the daily MACD. Okay, if you recall right here, I was saying we're not going to dump until we get our 3D MACD to cross negative. Okay, so and we did that exactly. We crossed below the 3D 21 with our MACD cross negative. We knew exactly what's going to happen after that, because we knew we were going to dump all the way down to mid-20s. Okay, if you recall right here, back in November, what I said right here, right there. So if you've been following us long enough, back in November we said let's pack our bags, right? Because BTC broke below the 3D 21. Because BTC broke below the 3D 21 and MACD cross negative, and that's that's one of the signature move for a top formation. So it is not something new we've been talking about. It is not something new we've been talking about, right? We've been talking about it like since when, 2020. Okay, so it's been a while. We've been using that strategy, and it helped us right here. We used it right here at the bottom. We entered right after the the 3D MACD flip bullish. We took it to the upside. Right here we said be cautious, and it dumped like nearly 40% and all that good stuff, and we used it right there. Okay, right here, right there, right here, again at the top, right there. We used it right here, right? Used it right there to short, and we used it right here to say what? To say what? Be cautious, because we're not going to dump. So whenever our 3D MACD gives us a shift in momentum, right, we tend to be very, very profitable with the trend. Okay, we tend to be very profitable with the trend, right? So you take a look at it, 1 2 3 4 5 6 right here. We got the negative crossover. It was a negative, but it was a rejection. It is also a strategy we like to use right there, right? And you go back and show me, right, who in the crypto space caught all these moves, and none of these moves, right, were like a 10% move. So most of these moves are like 30%, 40%, or even like 100%, like the move from like 31K all the way up to the top right here, 60K. The move from here to that, right, we stay just positive. We've been trading the range right there. Okay, 35K, 44K, just like what happened right here. We also traded the range 30K, 40K beautifully last year. We never lost any trade in this range. Okay, never lost any trade in this range. Took it from like a 55 all the way down to 35, took it from 40K all the way down to 25, took it from 32 all the way down to 21, just by using the MACD, not even RSI. Okay, so that's why I'm saying we just have to be very, very cautious. Even though the macro trend, it is still down, our 3D MACD is not signaling what? A shift in momentum yet. Okay, so we just have to be very patient. Okay, we just have to be very, very, very patient to get the proper setup for the next like a 25, 30, 40, 50% move. Okay, so if you're looking for BTC to drop down to let's say 10K, 12K and all that good stuff, it means like you got a lot of work to do. Okay, it could get there, but I don't think we will get there in Q3. And I said it in my premium at the beginning of Q3. I said let's not look for 10K, because we're not gonna get there. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about BTC on a macro level a little bit, right, before we take the transition to so if we take a look at BTC on a quarterly basis right here. So if you've been watching me even like early January, okay, the first week of January, I talked about the quarterly 21 EMA retest. So take a look at it. Okay, it's not going to take like one quarter to get a breakout below the quarterly 21. So, and I did not expect BTC to drop like 60% again, right, back to back quarters. Okay, meaning like dropping like down to like a even 50% will take us like somewhere around like 10K. So I don't expect like I did not expect BTC to drop like 50% back-to-back quarters. Okay, so something to keep in mind. That's why I wasn't expecting 10K in Q3, possibly in Q4 or Q1, and Leroy gonna say Q5, but possibly in Q1, mid to end of Q1 2023. All right, not 2024. All right, depending on the structure. All right. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the chat room before we talk about Ether. Hey Jet Set, thanks a lot for tuning in. Jet Set is saying like if you draw a trend line resistance on the 3D MACD, I think 3D MACD or RSI, let's see, RSI, right? Yes, I noticed that trend line, right? I just didn't have time to talk about it as of now. Just wanted to make it like very short analysis. Yes, we do have a trend line resistance, and if you notice well, I talked about it on, I think on Ether, the Ether trend line resistance. Okay, I talked about it on Ether, right? With the trend line resistance on the 2D 3D time frame right here. Back in April, you know, I gave you guys an Ether analysis saying like Ether could drop down to even as low as $1,000. Ether was at $3,000 back then. Okay, and we were shorting Ether in our premium, so it's not like I'm just saying it because Ether already dropped down to $3,000. I mean, dropped down to $1,000, but in our premium we've been shorting Ether since like 4,000. Okay, I don't remember an Ether long, right? In the last like 6 months. Okay, it could be a short-term long, but not like a macro long position. Okay, so but that trend line, let's go back to it. Yeah, the trend line right here could also be a valid trend line in terms of RSI, right? So it means you just have to follow your support trend line right here. So the next big buy area for BTC in terms of RSI, not in terms of price. Okay, remember your RSI could make a new low, right? But your price will not. So something to remember. Okay, so you could be looking for the trend line support right here. Let's say 20. Okay, 3D RSI 20. Let's do this. Okay, 3D RSI 20%, a buy range. Okay, all right, but remember, you know, your RSI can drop. Once again, it can drop down here, right? But your price, right, will not drop below this range. Okay, it could just be a double bottom, right? So keep that in mind, right? Hey, what's up, Craig? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Craig Moonboy. Aladino, thanks a lot for tuning in. KP, thanks a lot for tuning in. KP in the house. Okay, check BPWP. I don't know what's BPWP, but GDP numbers for Europe later on today. Let's see how it will affect the market, right? So now let's go ahead and move on to Ether. So Ether, okay, it is a very simple analysis, right? If you know the direction for BTC, most of the time you know the direction for Ether. Ether could be moving slower or faster depending on the volatility, but once you get the direction for BTC, you know exactly what to expect for Ether. That's why we've been bearish on Ether, right? So Ether, we're going to start off with the 3D RSI, just like what just said, with the trend line resistance right here. Okay, we retested it right here, double top, back in October, November, right? Dump all the way down to RSI just by like 30. We retested it back in April, right? First week of April, we said we're going to be dump all the way down to 26. So it is breaking the RSI resistance, right? Price action at the same time it is at resistance. And if you take a look at it in terms of resistances and supports and all that good stuff, our previous resistance back in February 2021 was right here, okay? Just about like a 2000 or 2100 range, give or take. May, June, July, we basically got a triple bottom right here. Guess what? May 2022, we retested it right here, 21 up to 1900 range, 1700 range, up to a 2100 range, okay? And that's exactly what we said was going to be our next pivot point right there. Our initial pivot point was a 2850, 3150, and that's what we used back in May, right, 2021, and we used it in April 2022. And if you take a look at it right here, now we're using the 1930 to 1710 pivot point, okay? It could, once again, it could still go up to like 2150, 2180, whatever, but it is just going, it could be a noise, right? It could just be a noise, and you know, bears could show up after that, right? So just be cautious, right? But if we break it, bulls could be pushing all the way up to the 2850, 3150 range. So just have to be very patient, right? Very cautious actually, right? And put a stop loss and all that good stuff, right? So now let's take a look at it in terms of Fibonacci, right? So if we take a look at it in terms of Fibonacci, we just talked about the 1932 up to a 2150 resistance, right? With 1710 being the lower end support. You can see like 50% pullback. It is nearly at 2050. All right, 2050. It is the 50% pullback. 382 was at, you know, just by like a 1710, right? 1689 resistance right here. So if we break above the 2050, yeah, bulls could be pushing temporarily to a 0.618. But I'm not sure if we're going to get enough volume to get to basically 2550, okay? And 2550 at the same time was the previous support right here back in during the first quarter, okay? With the double top, double bottom right there before we you know, took it to the downside all the way down to $1,000, okay? Ether. Okay, so in terms of basically support and resistance, 2000 average, it is a strong support. In terms of Fibonacci, it is still a strong support, okay? Now let's take a look at it in terms of moving averages, okay? Let's take a look at it right here in terms of moving averages. Now, if you want to take a look at it in terms of moving averages, right? Only one moving average, actually, right? We could be going back to our weekly 25 MA, okay? So the weekly 25 MA, just to simplify it, it is a good moving average to pay attention to when it comes to Ethereum in terms of a macro directional move, okay? I said it back in April, May 2020, and you know, we talk about it right here back in December, January, and all that good stuff. And even after the retest, before the retest actually of the you know, weekly 25 MA right here back in April, we talk about it, okay? So now in terms of moving average, right, it is nearly at the 25 MA, which is at 20 right now. It is at 21.25. That's what it is saying, right? 21.25, but it is a moving average, so it might not be at the same level, right? In the next like couple of days, it could be something like that, or depending on volatility, it could even do something like that. So as long as we below our, you know, moving average right here, the 25 MA, Ether going to be in a macro downtrend until we basically get a clean breakout above it, okay? So we want to see like multiple wicks above it. We just don't want to see like one close above it, or like a two weekly close. We want to see like at least 3 to 5 weeks Ether staying above the above the weekly 25 MA, because the target we're looking for Ether for the macro view is not, it's not like 5K or even 7K. We're looking for like 18 to 20K. Okay, so it will take time to get there. Okay, it's not going to do something like this straight up. I don't think so. Okay, but if it does, I mean, it's going to be great. If you bought Ether at $1,000, we said it is a great level to accumulate, because in terms of Fibonacci on a macro level, right, 382 is a good level to be accumulating for the bounce back curve to possibly to the previous Fibonacci 236. Okay, so the next Fibonacci to the downside going to be 50% pullback, right, at $650 to $600. Okay, but once again, I don't think the next possible rejection we're going to get in this range going to take us straight down to $600. Okay, because BTC will need to break 17, right, 16 for Ether to break below 2000. Okay, and we don't know what type of a structure at the same time we're going to get in this range. It could be another macro flat correction like that, or it could be a possible descending triangle, something like that, right? We don't know. Or it could even be a wedge pattern, a combination of these two, right? Something like that, right? Something like that. Okay, so we don't know. We could get a descending triangle, we could get a flat correction, or we could even get a wedge pattern going down to like 650. So that means, okay, it means like it could take a while to get down to like $600. Okay, so if we're going to get there, right? So something to basically keep in mind in terms of a weekly RSI. At the same time, we getting a similar move as the Ether dominance, right? When Ether dominance was around like 21%, right? The weekly RSI is basically showing also a resistance right here. Okay, we got our first resistance back in let's say February 2021, May 2021, November 2021. We got one April 2022, and now we're getting another one August 2022, right? Right, August 2022. Right. Let's do this. Right there, right here, right here. But guys, once again, if you, I mean, not financial advice, but if you bought Ether at the 382 Fibonacci right here, it is still a good hold. Okay, I'm not saying to go ahead and sell all your Ether and wait for $600. Okay, maybe could take some profits, right? 30, 40, 50% profits, and wait for a reaccumulation. But don't want to be selling everything and waiting for $600 or even $1,000, because you just don't know if Ether even going to break the $1,000, depending on how BTC will behave around 17 to 16K area. Okay, and the Ether dominance, once again, the Ether dominance will need to come down, right? A lot. Okay, it will need to come down a lot. If you recall the Ether dominance back in April right here, one of the reasons why I was extremely bearish, right, and being cautious on Ether going high was like the Ether dominance was pretty high right here, right around like 20%, and on top of that, Ether was giving us a three-way move like that. Okay, was giving us the three-way move. Okay, so if you've been following my Discord group or my Telegram group, we talk about the Ether dominance dropping all the way down to 14, as low as 14.5, and we dump all the way down to like 14%. Okay, and we talk about the RSI retesting like 20%, something like that. Okay, 25. Okay, so keep that in mind. Okay, so we want to see the Ether dominance to come back down somewhere around like 20. Okay, on the RSI right there, right? So at some point down the road, it's going to take a while. I don't think it will take like 1 day to drop down here. So if you're extremely bearish on the Ether, just be cautious, right? Because you know, it could be pretty boring if we're going to get like a trend like that, something like that. It will be pretty boring. Okay, so the other possibility for Ether is like for Ether to go back up to just about like 25%. Okay, and the only way we can get to 25% is like if the BTC dominance will drop down to 35 to 34%. Okay, then we could get the Ether dominance to possibly go all the way up to like 25%, right? But we will see. Okay, we will see. We will see. But we've been nailing the Ether dominance like crazy. Even at the top right here, you know, first week of December, we said the Ether dominance is topping out. Okay, 22% right here. Exactly, we said Ether topped out, right? Which basically coincided with the resistance trend line right here. And at the same time right here, we said I mean, afterward we said right here it topped out also, okay, with the double top right there. But right now we're not getting any double top. We will see if Ether going to consolidate in terms of dominance in this range. Okay, but it broke the resistance, you know, 20%, right? So let me go ahead and take a look at the chat room to see if you guys have any question regarding Ether. Across Canada asking for Matic. I'm not a good fan of the Bollinger Band, so I might take a look at it privately before I talk about it publicly. So I just don't want to give you wrong information and talk about something I'm not you know, I'm not good at, right? But when it comes to RSI, you know, moving averages, MACD and all that good stuff, I can easily, you know, take a look at any request. But I will take a look at the Bollinger Band later on privately, and then we'll come back to you. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at Matic. So I'm gonna go for some chart requests. Matic. Tezos. Dang, I'm late, says Tells. No, you're not late. You can always it is live, but you can always you know, rewatch it. Okay, I don't know if the Ether merge price is in or not. Okay, I don't know. Just watch the analysis and then you know, go ahead and make a rational decision. BNB. Okay, so it's already nearly 40 minutes. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at Matic. Matic. So Matic 3D, it is still pointing up. Okay, it is above the 75.68 resistance, and at the same time held well at the 30 cents, just about like 30 cents to 33 cents support area right here. So in terms of macro analysis, let's take a look at the weekly. The weekly MACD, it is positive, but that's the first pump in terms of reversal, just facing a trend line resistance right here. So the next upside resistance for Matic going to be somewhere around like 155, right, to 155 to 160, just about the April resistance if we're going to get there. Okay, but the macro directional move hasn't changed yet. It is still downward. We just got our first pump and we haven't seen yet a pullback. Okay, we haven't seen yet a pullback. So let's see what type of pullback we're going to get. Okay, if we get a 50% pullback and another breakout to the upside, we're going to be pointing even higher up to all-time high. But that's going to be too soon to to say like we're going to all-time high, right? Because BTC is not breaking all-time high yet. Okay. So just look for the temporary support right here, right? 65 to 68 to 75. The July 2021 lows right there. So that's going to be the temporary support to look for. In terms of MACD, we're still not getting a negative crossover, so the move down here could take a while until we get a negative crossover. Okay, and just be cautious. Even if you see MACD pointing down, something like that, right? Don't assume, okay, it will cross negative, because it could do something like that. Okay, and that could be very explosive after that, right? So just be very, very cautious and not just assume like it will break it. Okay, you could use your 2D MACD, right, to front run the 3D MACD. So it is not negative yet. Okay, it is not negative yet, right? Let's see. Let's go ahead and take a look at Tezos. So Tezos, it is still between 150, between 150 to $2, right? But we said Tezos, right, support going to be 150 to $1. Okay, we hit that range and it's been consolidating. It's not doing anything crazy. It is moving very, very slow. It is only up like 50%, right, in the last like 2 months. Okay, most of these alt, they only up like 40 to 50% in the last like 2 to 3 months. Okay, since like June, right? And since May, they at break even. If you bought any alt like, let's say mid-May, they should be around a mid-May prices. Okay, meaning like, the last 3 months you at break even. Okay, so next support for Tezos going to be somewhere around here, right? It is still around like $1. Okay, unless we drop all the way down to like 75 to 50 cents. But I don't see yet a negative MACD to confirm the continuation. All right, so we got that move. So not sure if we're going to create another flat correction to do something like that and then push to the upside. But 150 to $1 range, it is still a good level to reaccumulate some Tezos or accumulate some Tezos. Okay, we got our macro trend line support right here, most likely going to act possibly going to act as a strong resistance if we get up to like a $3 to $4. So if we take a cheap shot, right, and pump all the way up to this, to the $4 range, you got to take some profits if you accumulate it at 150 to $1. Okay, if you've been following us, we said it when Tezos was right here. Okay, with the rest of the market, Tezos was right around like $3.5 $4. We said 150 to $1 range going to be the next buy range. So if we go back to that level, we just have to suck it up. Okay, if not, have to suck it up around like a 50 cents 75 cents range right here. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at BNB. So BNB, our previous target was just about like $200. We hit that target with Ethereum. When we were calling for Ether to drop down to a 1710, we were calling for BNB to drop down to as low as $200, and sucker drop all the way down to 180. Okay, and we said it is time to reaccumulate some BNB. Could it drop lower? Yes, but in terms of macro support, we just hit that macro support, so it was a good time to be buying some BNB. And at the same time, the short entry was somewhere around like $400, guys. $400 all the way down to 185, give or take. Okay, over 50% move in less than in less than 2 months and all that good stuff. Okay, just like tells us, right, the April resistance is right here all the way up to 450. But once again, I'm not sure if this guy, right, going to do something like that. Okay, meaning like the macro flat correction right here and just go for a you know, solo bull run, go for a bull run itself, okay, without the rest of the market. Okay, but we will wait and see if we will get enough confirmation for this move, but I'm not counting on it. Okay, as of now it is at resistance just like the rest of the market, right? I wouldn't basically FOMO on it until we get enough confirmation. Okay, next support, once again, it is going to be somewhere around like the low 120, right, mid 120s. Okay, I would say like 150 to 120 right here. That's going to be the next support, okay, for reaccumulation. So first support $200, second support 150 to 120 range. Okay, but we'll watch the 2D MACD, right, for a trend reversal. Okay, as of now we don't have any. Okay, it has to cross negative to give us a higher confidence level, right? The 3D MACD will cross negative, but as of now it is not crossing negative. Okay, so resistance up to like 450, right, and support, it is still going to be $200 and 150, and I wouldn't be selling any of these BNBs after that, right? Just wait for the macro reversal. That would give us just about like 80%. Okay, yeah, 80% will be around like 130. Right here we dropped just about like 80%, right there we dropped 83%. Okay, so on average 82% drop for BNB is good enough to start like reaccumulating. Okay, 82 will be around like 125, right? Hey Quiet Kid, thanks a lot. All right guys, so Ether, do I think it will get above the 3D 50? Let's see. The 3D 50 for Ether, right, it is nearly at the weekly 21. It can get above it, but will we get like a constant trend, like pumping like 20%, 30% above it? It could push above it, like, you know, for a few days, like a couple of days, whatever, right? 2 to 3 candles on the 3D, right? And then gets rejected. That's possible, right? But you just have to wait and see, because once again, your 3D MACD is positive, is strongly positive, right? We will get a dump on it, meaning like the 3D MACD will shift. It will do something like that at some point. We just don't know when. Okay, it will do something like that. Okay, so when it does, right, or if it does, I'm not saying it will do it from here, but I'm just giving you you know, an example. Okay, and this guy will do something like that. Okay, so this guy is supposed to be blue, right? So once we get this move right there, okay, we will see if, okay, bulls going to push higher, right? Meaning like we're going to push even higher than you know, than $2,000, or if bulls going to give us the cross down right there, negative crossover to a downside, then we will be looking for, you know, 1320, I mean 1350, 1250 area, okay, for support, right? So so that's what you need to watch. Okay, and right here you could use your daily, your 2D time frame to try to front run the 3D. Okay, and if you're very confident, right, you got enough data, you could even use your daily time frame. But sometimes, you know, as you can see right here, I wasn't very confident with the negative crossover right here, because it was pretty weak and volume was not a lot. right? Volume wasn't, you know, it wasn't a lot of volume, right? And you know, it didn't do much, okay? And at the same time, we were above the daily 21, okay? So, and I mentioned the daily 100 EMA for most of these alt, just like Ether. As you can see, Ether is leading the way, got multiple rejection around the daily 100 EMA. Okay, that's what I'm saying. If some of these alt hit the daily 100 EMA, you just have to start being cautious, because you know, you might not get to your 3D 50 that easy. Okay, you're going to get constant rejection at your daily 100 EMA, and then later on try to push up to your 3D 50. So you're talking about 3D time frame. So it could take like 3 days, right? Or even like 6 days, 9 days, and so on and so forth before you get an initial rejection. Okay, you're not talking about like 1 hour time frame. Okay, so you just have to be very patient when you're trading these higher time frames. Okay, that's why I keep saying these are not day trading setups, because it could take weeks or even months before you get a you know, a good reversal. So guys, make sure to hit the likes if you enjoy the content. It's Send Crypto. If you're new to our content, we will talk about the BTC dominance. It's already 1 hour, but we'll talk about the BTC dominance during our next live update. Okay. So it is going to be a special topic. Okay. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the likes if you enjoy the content. If you want to join the public Telegram group, link in the description. If you're looking to join Send Premium to be ready for the next bull run and all that good stuff, make sure to join the premium group, because it is time to be ready for the next bull market. Not in 2023, not in 2024, but right now, 2022 is the right time to be ready for the next bull market. Okay, we got some great analysis on the macro view for BTC. It is at a very good time to be buying as of now, right? To be reaccumulating for the next peak all the way up to a 180 to 100k, and 180 to 200k and all that good stuff. Okay, it is not time to be panicking. It is time to be accumulating, not time to be panicking. Yes, price action can drop 10, 15, 20, 30%, but you're looking for 10, 20, 30, 40x. Okay, so you got to think that, you got to keep that in mind, not just because like you know, the short term is bearish, the macro view is bearish. Okay, we could be out of the bear market like within the next like a 3 to 6 months, and you don't want to wait until we're out of the bear market to start buying, because you're going to be buying most of these auto like 3, 4, 5x higher. Okay, and you're not going to be able to get those 100x, because you might be panicking after every 25% dump, 30% dump. You might be selling and waiting for lower lows and all that good stuff. But right now, as of now, August, you know, September, October, okay, you got to be buying those dips. Okay, buying those dips and be ready for 2024, 2025, and you're going to be selling it to your grandma or your cousin and all that good stuff. All right, guys, thanks a lot for watching.